Call whoever you want, the millionaire laughed, until he knew WHO was on the line. The slap echoed so sharply through the marble lobby that even the fountain seemed to fall silent. Every conversation stopped, every head turned, and in the center of that silence stood a trembling old janitor with watery eyes, one shaking hand pressed to his cheek, while a millionaire in a tailored navy suit smirked as if humiliating a poor man in public was nothing more than entertainment. But what happened next? What began with one phone call and ended with a room full of powerful people on their feet, would become the kind of story no one in that building would ever forget. Before we begin, if you believe kindness still matters, if you believe every human being deserves respect no matter how rich or poor they are, then please take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories that touch the heart. The building was one of the most expensive commercial towers in downtown Chicago, a polished kingdom of glass, steel, and silence. It belonged to Victor Hale, a self-made millionaire whose name was spoken with admiration in business magazines and with fear in boardrooms. To the world, he was a symbol of success. To the people who worked under him, he was a storm in a suit, cold, arrogant, and impossible to please. Victor loved power, but more than that, he loved reminding others they didn't have any. Every morning, before the first executives arrived and before the elevators began carrying ambition to the upper floors, a 72-year-old janitor named Samuel Reed quietly moved through the building with his mop and faded blue bucket. He had a slow walk and a tired back, but he carried himself with a kind of dignity that life had not been able to take from him. His uniform was always clean, his shoes were old but polished, and his smile, when he gave one, felt warm enough to soften the hard edges of the place. Most people barely noticed Samuel. To the lawyers, bankers, assistants, and consultants who swept past him every day, he was part of the background, like the marble walls or the potted palms near the elevators. But Samuel noticed everything. He noticed the intern who cried in the restroom after being blamed for someone else's mistake. He noticed the single mother from accounting who skipped lunch twice a week so her son could have extra tutoring. He noticed the security guard who limped through 12-hour shifts because he couldn't afford time off. And somehow, despite carrying his own pain, Samuel always found small ways to make life gentler for others. What no one knew was that Samuel wasn't just working to survive. He was working to keep a promise. 10 years earlier, Samuel's daughter, Angela, had died after a long battle with illness, leaving behind a little girl named Maya. Samuel had become father and grandfather all at once. He had sold nearly everything he owned to keep Maya in a good school, to make sure she had books, clean clothes, and the kind of chance Angela had begged him to give her daughter. Samuel had once been a respected high school history teacher, but after budget cuts and health issues, life had pushed him into retirement before he was ready. Then came hospital bills, funeral costs, and years of sacrifice. By the time he became a janitor, pride had already been stripped from him so many times that all he had left was purpose. And Maya was that purpose.